Hi everybody, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today I'm going to do the 1 hour transformation challenge. It's not really a challenge. We are planning to go to Spencer's to get a washer and dryer doing adult stuff. I haven't gotten ready in a really long time. I'm a new mom, if you didn't know, from the baby moon videos and the nursery tour. But my little guy, his name's Logan, and he's gonna be 2 months old in a couple days. And I feel like I haven't done my makeup since the baby moon videos. So I kind of wanted to do it today and just talk about being a new mom and not so much the struggles, but the things that I was not aware of with becoming a new mom, I guess. So what I start off with, I'm trying to like even remember what my routine is. I always use the Mario Badescu, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, the aloe vera rose water to prime my face, and I just took a shower, so 2 wins for me. Gotta let that dry a little bit. So being a new mom is really hard. I don't think anybody ever really talks about how difficult it is to become a new mom. I watched so many like YouTube videos about newborn routines and this and that and breastfeeding and whatever, and none of it amounts to actually doing it. It's very difficult. It's tiring. It's a lot. And I love my baby and I wanted to have a baby for so long. I have my brother just turned 15, so when I was a teenager is when he was born. And when he was born, I knew from then I really wanted to be a mom. Like, I loved snuggling him and playing with him, especially when like I felt down. Like, just being around him and playing with him would like completely change my day and turn my attitude around. So from then on, I knew since then I wanted to be a mom, and now I'm 28. At that time I was, oh no, I'm 29. At that time I was 14, so it's been a long time, and I finally have my little guy. But I just think how they portray, you know, being a mom and that it's easy, and like the snapback and all this stuff that they have like on TV all the time is a joke. Like, there's no snapping back from having a baby. I mean, when you have a baby, depending on how your body reacts, I mean, you could gain between like 20 and 60, I don't know, 80 pounds. Like, you can't just snap back from that, like, without, I don't know, some miracle, some liposuction or something. Which is not for the normal everyday person. I mean, unless you barely gained any weight and you basically birthed out all your extra weight that you had. But for my labor or pregnancy, I gained, I don't know, pretty close to 60 pounds. It was a lot. And I also had what they call polyhydramnios, which is like it's when your body produces too much amniotic fluid, and it makes your body swell, makes you short of breath. Obviously you have all this extra fluid, so you weigh more. And then when it comes time to giving birth, if the baby's umbilical cord comes out before he does, it's like very dangerous. So I had to be induced for my labor, which was a lot. I had a 16-hour labor, which I could do like a whole labor and delivery story about that. But by the time I walked out of the hospital, I had immediately lost like 30 pounds, and my baby was pretty big. He was 9 pounds, well, 8 pounds, 15 ounces, so basically 9 pounds, and 21 inches long. So having him was almost 10 pounds, and then the placenta probably weighed between 5 and 10 pounds, and then I had 10 pounds of just fluid, which is ridiculous. Like, that's not a normal amount. So I still have 30 pounds to lose, but yeah, I don't think anybody like really tells you how difficult it is. I'm just putting concealer, Shape Tape. I don't even know if I'm doing any of this right. Like, don't come for me. But before I had Logan, we were like very busy. We both worked. Well, we still both work. We're doing real estate. We're starting this YouTube channel. We started our Twitch channel, and basically having a baby put a stop to almost all of it. I mean, he's 2 months now, and we're just like kind of restarting doing YouTube, so we had to basically take a hiatus. We haven't started doing Twitch again yet. But before I had the baby, I didn't realize that you don't sleep a lot. Like, when everybody was telling me like, oh yeah, you're gonna be part of the no sleep club, like, I didn't really believe them. I thought they were basically like exaggerating. And I mean, when the baby first comes out, they need to be fed every 2 hours, sometimes 1 to 2 hours. And then if you're breastfeeding, what the nurse told me in the hospital while I was there was, oh yeah, they have to eat every 2 hours, and in that 2 hours you have to feed them. And while you're feeding them, you have to spend half an hour on each boob, basically trying to get them to like start producing milk, because you don't produce milk right away, and it's supposed to help like speed up the process. So it's like, you're telling me in the 2 hour block that he has to eat every hour or every 2 hours, I have to do half an hour on one side, half an hour on the other side, burp him and put him back to sleep, and then within like another half an hour he's gonna wake up and be ready for more food. And the nurse was like, yeah, that's how it goes. And I was like, oh my god, that is unheard of. How am I supposed to sleep in that time? Yeah, and then, you know, being in the hospital is kind of uncomfortable. Like, everybody's like, try to stay in the hospital as long as you can, because the nurses help you and this and that. And I guess they do, but they don't really help in the sense of like trying to get you to rest or do anything like that. It's more of like, they come in and weigh the baby, or they check his temperature, or they ask you if you need more pain meds, or, you know, they do stuff like that. It's not really like help. I mean, I did find out afterwards that you can have the baby stay in the nursery, and then the nurses will watch him in the nursery, and you can actually sleep, and you can put like a do not disturb sign on your door. But I didn't know that beforehand. I only figured that out after. I'm just contouring right now. I don't really know how to contour my nose, that's why I don't. Just do my cheeks and around my forehead and underneath to have my double chin, because I haven't lost those other 30 pounds yet. Hi, sorry if I sound different or look different. My camera died. So now you're on my phone, and you're on a really, my jewelry box and a tissue box and the baby shampoo is the tripod right now. So that's what I'm working with. I don't remember what I was talking about. I just did my contour and I put blush on. And I'm gonna use the Becca Champagne Pop highlighter because I really like this, even though mine's shattered. I bought it that way, which is a joke. It should not have been shattered, but whatever. It still works, so I'm just careful with it so it doesn't make a mess everywhere. But yeah, my advice, if you're thinking about having a baby, or, you know, you want like, I don't know, real true facts, it's very, very hard. And if you're not ready for sleepless nights and basically not having time for anything, don't do it. And it's a little harder for us just because we live in a different state than my family. So my sister's here, but our entire rest of our family is not. So I just wanted to show I'm using James Charles palette. And I'm not sure what colors I'm gonna use. So when they say like, it takes a village to raise a baby, it's an accurate statement. I would have to agree with that statement. And I think it would be a lot easier if my family was here, but they're not. And it's very hard to travel with a baby the size he is, especially hasn't got all his shots yet. And it's hard to talk and do makeup. So it would be hard for us to travel to them or for them to come here, so both of our families have come out once already, but you know, one weekend is not enough to kind of get a break from, I don't know, poopy diapers and bottles every hour on the hour. So yeah, I don't know, I didn't find any YouTube videos that even remotely described what happens when you have a new baby and what to expect. And you know, it's a lot of rainbows and butterflies and things like that people talk about when having a new baby, which of course, like, he's the most precious thing that I have, and I would do anything for him, but it's just really tiring right now. And my sister-in-laws and everybody kind of says, like, you know, the first 3 to 4 months are the hardest, that once you get over that, then you're like in the clear. But we're just hitting month 2, so that's probably why. And I'm lucky my husband helps so incredibly much with the baby. He literally does everything. He feeds him, he bathes him, he does his laundry, washes the bottles. Like, we are definitely like a 50-50 type of team. Like, I don't have a husband that kicks me out of the room at night because the baby's crying or anything like that, or, you know, refuses to hold him because they think he's too small and fragile and they're gonna break him. Like, he doesn't do any of that. He's totally involved, and I'm really thankful. I tell him every day basically how thankful I am that he does that. But I know a lot of other moms don't have that with their significant others, or, you know, they work too much so they can't help at night, or, you know, things like that. But I don't know, I'm just ranting because I feel like nobody really says how it really is. I can't believe I'm doing all this makeup to go to a appliance store. That's okay. I need to do my makeup so I can feel like a whole human again. Whole entire human. What else should I do? Eyeshadow. Oh yeah, eyeliner. I don't even remember how to do my makeup anymore. And I had, well, I used to have fake eyelashes and then I just kind of stopped using them, so I don't have any to put some on today. But that would be the real transformation, because eyelashes. And if anybody's wondering where the baby is right now, Cameron's watching him. Yeah, the nurse at my OB office said that, because I asked her about weight loss, weight gain, like what to kind of expect over the next couple months, as far as like what happens post-baby. And she's like, it's gonna take you probably a year to lose the rest of the weight that you gained. Like, you gained it over a year, you can't expect to lose it in less time than that. She's like, all the celebrities and all that stuff, it's fake. Like, that's not real. That's not what a real body does. And if it does do it that fast, normally it's in an unhealthy manner, so you don't want to do that either. So yeah, I'm basically like the same weight I was when I left the hospital. But I'm just taking it day by day. I mean, it's hard to plan out meals and cook and stuff with a newborn. So we're just doing the best we can over here. I seen a video that showed like doing a burpee challenge, and it's 50 burpees a day, And the girl's result was like she lost 6 or 7 pounds and like toned up, lost a bunch of inches. And I wanted to do that, but today, this morning, I tried to do any burpees at all, and I did 10 and I almost died. But I'm definitely gonna do a video, or at least attempt to do a video about it, because I like the transformation videos. I think they're cool, especially like post-baby, to see how long it takes or what it actually does, or, you know, results. I like results. I remember when I was younger, I used to say that I wanted like a soccer team of kids. I wanted like 7 kids. And now my opinion has definitely changed. Now 1 is good. Maybe 2. But mostly 1. 1 is safe and nice. And adorable. He's so cute. I love him, but I've worked 3 jobs before at one time. I've just like, you know, had nights of like no sleep and 2 hours of sleep here and there. But in all of those times when you do like, when you're like a teenager and you're partying, or, you know, I don't know, you have, like I had too many jobs and some of my jobs overlapped. So I would get 2-hour breaks in between. And the only difference, like when I used to do that, I was like, oh yeah, like if I don't get any sleep, it doesn't matter, I've done it before, like I'll be fine. But those days, you always get like a recovery. Like if I had to work 2 of my 3 jobs in one day, that normally meant I had 2 hours to sleep in between. But I always had like a day where I didn't have to work one of my jobs, or I had like a smaller shift, so then I would have more time in between, and that's how I would recover. I would get small spurts of extra sleep in the middle, or I would get like a full night of sleep, which when you're a new parent, it's just continuous. It's just 2 hours here, 4 hours here. As he's gotten older, he's gotten a little bit better. Now he's on if we put him to bed at 8, he wakes up at like 1 o'clock. Well, he never goes to bed at 8. He always ends up falling asleep around 9. And he'll wake up between 1 and 2, and then he wakes up again between 4 and 5. And then at 5, he's basically like, I'm awake. And he doesn't go back to sleep. Our nights, we used to like sleep in a lot and go to bed super late. Now it's completely opposite. Yesterday we were both so exhausted that we ended up giving him a bath early. We went to bed at 7:30. Which I was like, I never thought in my entire life I would be going to bed that early, but when you only have, you know, X amount of time to sleep, then you have to work around the baby. Like the baby controls the time schedules. You don't control anything anymore. Not until they're 4 months. Then you can start like sleep training and doing all this stuff with them. But right now he's too little and too cute. I was watching one of our older YouTube videos from last year. And my hair is super short. I was like, when you have a baby, your hair grows really crazy. Just like grew almost like 3 or 4 inches over the last year. It's probably from the prenatal vitamins and all your hormones and stuff, but it's good. I really like this scrunchy, please, like fluffy scrunchy trend coming back. There's so much more comfortable than like a regular like hair tie, which is good for me. All about comfort now. You know what also they don't tell you about when you're having a baby is the hormone roller coaster you go through once they come out. It's like the hormones you have on your period, like times 1,000. It's like one day you're super happy and the next day you're like sad. And I remember in my discharge paperwork, it said like, oh yeah, you have, or, you know, postpartum depression is serious, but you could have, there's different stages, which I didn't know. And apparently there's a stage called like baby blues, which is the initial stage, I guess, when you're like not fully postpartum, but you have some, you know, I don't know, you're just like a little off and you can feel it. Just like I didn't even know that existed until I walked out with my baby, which is something that they should also tell you too, before you have a baby, or even in like OB appointments. I never heard of baby blues before then. And then I started asking all the moms and other people that I know that have had kids, and almost every single one of them said like, yeah, you kind of go through a time where like, because your whole schedule, your whole life changes. If you're breastfeeding, you're like, you know, glued to your child. You don't get a break. So it's like really like almost like a lifestyle shock basically. But that was another thing that I had no idea existed before I had a baby. Only found out after. And almost every person I talked to went through that kind of like emotional, I don't know. The best word I could think of is just roller coaster, like emotional roller coaster. You're so happy you have this like cute, sweet little baby, but then, you know, your body's wrecked and you're exhausted and you're like a human cafeteria for your baby. Then you have to remember to take a shower and do like your normal human things, like do laundry or cook dinner or whatever, while you're on 3 hours of sleep and things like that. So I think too, though, even if people did talk about it like how it really is, I mean, some people, I know they told me about the no sleep club, but when they were talking about it, I mean, no sleep club sounds like a funny joke, right? Like, like you're never gonna sleep again. That's kind of how I took it. And I didn't really think that it was like an actual serious thing. But a lot of those things, like, people also don't talk about before you're pregnant. It's like once you're pregnant, that's when like you start hearing the truth about the whole situation and the labor and all the things that could go wrong. And you know, I don't know. It's only after, like, you're already in it is when you find out all the stuff. If you haven't watched on Netflix, there's a comedian, her name's Ali Wong. She's so freaking funny. In her newest stand-up, which I think it's from last year or the year before, I think it's called Hard Knock Wife. I don't know, there's two. She's in a zebra dress in one, and she's in a cheetah dress in the other. The one that she's in the cheetah dress is so funny. She just talks about being pregnant and like all the things, you know, the skeptical things, like people talk about breastfeeding and how you're supposed to like it's supposed to be magical. They're supposed to be like frogs with lily pads and bunnies, you know, floating around, and everybody's singing Kumbaya, and it's actually not. Like, it's really painful and difficult and time-consuming, exhausting. Like, it's so funny. My sister-in-law told me we watched it before. We watched it while I was pregnant when she came to visit, and then I just rewatched it again the other day, and I was like crying laughing because all the stuff that she says in the stand-up is like so true, but the way she was saying it was so funny. It was the best. I really like her. She also she has a Netflix movie out. I forget what the name of the guy is, but it's called Always Be My Maybe. It's really good. I think at this point, because we've been at home for a while, we've watched like everything on Netflix, basically. I haven't combed my hair in so long. Oh my god, the curls. I know they look like a Shirley Temple curls, but I kind of like them that way. I have pretty like natural, wavy, curly-esque hair, so if I don't make them look like Shirley Temple-y, then basically it looks like my regular hair. Sweet. Okay, so I'm all done. I'm pretty princess. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Sorry for ranting so much. I just need a vent. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.